I'm gonna show you 4 different protein overnight oats recipes that will get you ready for the day. The first one is called strawberry cheesecake. Start by placing a bowl on a scale and adding 50 grams of oats. You can choose between instant oats and rolled oats. The calories are the same, it's just a matter of texture. Rolled oats give you a more chewy consistency. Personally, I always go for instant oats as it makes this breakfast more creamy. Next, add half a scoop of 15 grams of vanilla protein powder. You've probably heard of whey protein before because that's what most people have. However, there is another protein powder called casein that's a lot less common. In terms of macros, they are quite similar, 120 calories and 24 grams of protein per scoop. However, there is one huge difference and I will show you what I mean. In this glass, I will add 15 grams of whey protein powder with 50 grams of water. As I mix this, it will combine and get slightly thicker. However, whey protein powder does not bind a lot of water, which results in a more liquid consistency, as you can see here. Now take a look at the casein. I will again combine 15 grams of protein powder with 50 grams of water and mix, but this time everything immediately turns into a thick, almost cream cheese-like consistency. That's because casein can bind a lot more water, resulting in much creamier meals. That's also why baked goods can become dry if you use whey protein powder instead of casein. In this recipe you can use both, of course, but I highly recommend using casein powder for overnight oats. It will become a lot more creamy and thick. The next ingredient is strawberry jam, and here's where you can save quite a few calories by using a jam without added sugar. If the jam has 70% fruit or higher, it only has about 100 calories per 100 grams instead of up to 250 calories for the added sugar version. The sweetness of strawberries is enough, so there is no need to buy sugar jams in my opinion. Place the jar on the scale, press the 0 button, and now scoop out jam until the scale shows minus 50 grams. That is the reverse scale trick, which makes it a bit easier to weigh stuff out of jars. Next is plain skyr. You can also use non-fat Greek yogurt. They have pretty much the same macros. This is an incredible protein source with 11 grams of protein per 60 calories. Add 150 grams into the bowl, then a small pinch of salt just to enhance the flavor, and lastly 100 grams of water. You could also use milk if you want, but it's not really needed in my opinion because of the added casein, which is basically concentrated milk. Now mix this until combined and smooth before slicing up 150 grams of fresh strawberries. Strawberries are one of the lowest calorie fruits that exist, which makes them the perfect volume food. Give everything a last stir before closing the lid and refrigerate this overnight. And the next morning you have a perfect breakfast that comes in with 451 calories, 64 grams of carbs, 5 grams of fat and 36 grams of protein. The next recipe is called peanut butter overload. It starts again with 50 grams of oats and 15 grams of casein vanilla protein powder. Now, here I have regular creamy peanut butter, which probably everyone knows. However, over here I have powdered peanuts called PB2. This is basically the same thing as peanut butter, but with almost all of the fat removed and turned into a powder. It has more protein and fewer calories than peanut butter. I will use both for the ultimate peanut overload. First, you need to add 2 servings or 26 grams of powdered peanuts before adding 10 grams of creamy peanut butter, again with the reverse scale trick from before. Most of the peanut butters are quite salty, so there is no need to add extra salt to this recipe. Next is 150 grams of plain skyr for the extra protein boost, followed up by 100 grams of water. Mix this until creamy and smooth and refrigerate it overnight. The peanut butter overload comes in with 522 calories, 49 grams of carbs, 13 grams of fat and 49 grams of protein. Next is my current favorite, and it's the tiramisu oat recipe. It starts with 50 grams of oats and 15 grams of casein vanilla protein powder. Then you need to add 5 grams of unsweetened cocoa powder and also 1 shot of coffee. I use a cup of strong espresso, which is about 50 grams of filtered coffee. This tastes amazing in combination with cocoa and milk. Next is our protein boost skyr. Add 150 grams into the bowl, then a small pinch of salt and this time 50 grams of milk. I tried it with water, but it could become too bitter, so it's better to use milk for the extra sweetness. Mix everything until you get a thick and creamy consistency and refrigerate overnight. I eat this all the time right now. I absolutely love this recipe. The macros are 385 calories, 41 grams of carbs, 7 grams of fat and 38 grams of protein. The last recipe is called blueberry chocolate. It starts with 50 grams of oats and 15 grams of casein vanilla protein powder, then 5 grams of unsweetened cocoa powder. Next is blueberry jam, and here it's the same thing as the strawberry jam. Try to find a jam without added sugar. This one has 80% 100% fruit with around 100 calories per 100 grams. Use our reverse scale trick to add 50 grams of jam to the bowl, followed up by 150 grams of plain skyr, a small pinch of salt and 50 grams of water. Mix until combined and smooth, and now look at this beautiful purple color. Add in 50 grams of fresh blueberries, give it another stir and refrigerate overnight. The last recipe comes in with 452 calories, 61 grams of carbs, 6 grams of fat and 36 grams of protein. If you like this recipe, you need to check out my cookbook. Low-calorie, high-protein recipes that will help you lose weight and keep it off for the rest of your life. Finally, a diet that works. From breakfast to lunch to dessert, everything you need is in this book. And the best part is that I will constantly be updating the book and you will receive every update for free once you've purchased the book. It's a lifetime investment into your health for $50, so in my honest opinion, that's an absolute no-brainer. The link is in the description.